On March 14th, there's a full red blood moon in Virgo. What does that mean for you? Let's get into it. Okay, first of all, it's a red blood moon because there is a full lunar eclipse that day, which just spices things up for March a little bit more. If you've been following me on my Patreon, then you have probably seen the videos that I made on the other astrological transits that are happening in March, and this is a big month for astrology. But anyways, in general, full moons tend to intensify and amplify the energy. So you've probably heard or noticed that ER visits are a lot more frequent on the full moon. Animals are acting kind of wild on the full moon. People are acting kind of wild on the full moon. It intensifies and amplifies the energy. Now in Virgo, that might not seem so bad, but we have a lot of planets in or entering Aries right around the same time. We also have a Mercury retrograde the very next day after the full moon, which also creates some more chaos to add to the mix, of course. Venus is in retrograde in Aries, Mercury's entering Aries right before the full moon, and at the end of the month we have Neptune entering Aries. The sun enters Aries, like there's a lot of Aries energy. Now, the full moon is going to force us to face our shadows. Anything that you've tried to put off, especially health issues having to do with your digestive system or your gut, but anything mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or physically that you've been trying to put off and not deal with, you are going to be forced to face those things during this full moon eclipse in Virgo. Virgo demands you to focus on the details and the analytics and whatever needs to be reflected on and addressed. Virgo is going to force you to do that, and the eclipse is going to bring in those shadows. So you're going to be shining a light and learning new things about yourself, or facing the things that you didn't want to admit or acknowledge. And again, Virgo does rule the digestive system, so if you are someone who deals with tummy troubles or digestive stuff, this energy might intensify that. So just be aware of what you're eating around that time. No cheating around the full moon. It doesn't necessarily mean anything bad or anything that you should fear. Just pay attention to your diet and the things that typically are triggers. Try to avoid them around this time. Also, if you've been avoiding the doctor, if that's one of the things that you've been avoiding, you're going to need to go. You should probably make an appointment. But this is typically a really good time to focus on your shadow work, to focus on the things that you've been avoiding and kind of face them and address them and work on healing them so that you can release. The full moon typically is the time of releasing. So in order to release those things, you have to face them. You have to process them, right? So process, heal, release. There you go. Definitely expect there to be a lot of intense energy. I would try to avoid any type of conflicting situations or people. However, the eclipse and all of the retrogrades can tend to bring up things from the past, things that have not been resolved, unresolved issues, unresolved relationships. So you might be hearing from people from your past. So if that is conflicting, I would avoid that on the full moon. Maybe wait. But then you have Mercury retrograde the next day. So I don't even know. I don't even know. Avoid them for the next couple of months. I don't know. But in all seriousness, just try to stay grounded. Try to stay calm, cool, and collected. Try to stay prepared. Make sure the communication is on point. You're gonna need to, during this time, you're probably going to need to really make sure that things are being said clearly and that you are kind of being very clear about whatever it is you're communicating about and really trying to understand the other people that you are trying to communicate with, because things can get kind of crazy around this time. And emotions are going to be really heightened, feelings are going to be heightened, shadows are going to be heightened. So just keep that in mind and ride the wave with the rest of us.